I want to ask you something personal. When was the last time you read a road sign and had to squint? Just a little more than you used to? When was the last time you reached for your glasses the moment you woke up? Before you even sat up in bed? When was the last time you held your phone so close to your face that someone next to you noticed? Because here's the thing nobody tells you. Vision loss doesn't announce itself. It doesn't knock on your door and say, "I'm here." It sneaks in quietly. It creeps. And then one day you're sitting in a doctor's office and they're telling you words you weren't ready for. Words like progressive myopia, age-related macular degeneration, amblyopia, digital eye strain, convergence insufficiency. And what does the world hand you? Glasses, thicker lenses, surgery. Come back in a year. But today we are going to talk about something different. Today I'm going to show you 3 exercises, not magic, not a miracle cure, but clinically grounded, research-backed exercises that your ophthalmologist probably never mentioned. And I'm going to tell you why they work, what they actually do to your eye muscles and your visual cortex, and how to do them correctly so you're not wasting your time. But real quick before we dive in, if you're new here, welcome. This channel is all about giving you honest, practical health information that actually helps you make better decisions for yourself and your family. We are on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers, and every single person who joins this community genuinely matters to us. So if you find today's video helpful, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it means the absolute world to us. Before we do anything, I want to be very honest with you about what this video is and what it isn't. This is not a video claiming you can throw away your glasses by Friday. I don't believe that. You shouldn't believe that. Anyone telling you that is selling you something. What this is a deep dive into a body of science that most people, even most eye doctors, don't spend much time explaining to their patients, because here's the reality. Most eye appointments are short. You sit in the chair, they flip the lenses, 1 or 2, 2 or 3. They write a prescription, and they send you home. Nobody sits you down and says, "Hey, did you know your eye has muscles? Did you know those muscles can be trained? Did you know that your brain plays an enormous role in what you see, and that brain-eye communication can degrade and potentially improve?" So let me give you a quick foundational crash course before we get to the exercises. This context matters, because when you understand why these exercises work, you'll actually do them, instead of trying them once and forgetting. Here's what most people don't know. Your eye is a dynamic organ. You have 6 muscles wrapped around each eyeball, the extraocular muscles, and they control every movement your eye makes. Left, right, up, down, converge inward, diverge outward. These muscles, like all muscles, can become weak, uncoordinated, or fatigued, especially if you're doing the same thing with your eyes all day, which, if you're staring at a screen, you absolutely are. Beyond the muscles, there's the ciliary muscle inside the eye that controls the lens. It thickens or flattens the lens to focus at different distances. If you spend 8 hours a day looking at a screen 14 inches from your face, that muscle is locked in near-focus contraction for hours at a time. That's called ciliary spasm. And it contributes directly to the headaches, blurred distance vision, and eye fatigue that so many people experience. And then there's the brain, your visual cortex. The part of your brain that actually interprets what your eyes send it is plastic. It changes. It can be trained. Amblyopia treatment, which is the clinical rehabilitation of the lazy eye, proves that the brain's visual processing can be fundamentally altered with the right stimulation. What we're doing with these exercises is a milder version of that same principle. Okay. Now let's talk about the 3 exercises. And I want to start with the most important one, the one I want you to do today, right after you finish this video. Exercise 1. The 20-20-20 rule, done correctly. Exercise 1 is called the 20-20-20 rule, and I know you've probably heard of it. You've maybe even tried it, but I want to be very specific about why it works and how almost everyone does it wrong. The rule: every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Simple, catchy, Easy to remember. But here's the problem. Most people treat this like a passive break. They look up from their screen, let their eyes wander vaguely toward a window, and then look back down in 20 seconds feeling like they've done their duty. That's not what this is. That's not what the research supports. Let me explain what's actually happening when you do this correctly. When you focus on a screen or a book at close range, your ciliary muscle, the one controlling your internal lens, is contracted. It is holding tension. That tension, sustained for long periods, contributes to something called pseudomyopia, or accommodative spasm. This is where your eye temporarily loses the ability to relax into distance focus, because the muscle has been in near focus mode for so long, it forgets how to let go. Here's what the research from optometry literature shows. When you shift your gaze to a target 20 feet or more away, the ciliary muscle fully relaxes. At 20 feet, optical physics tells us that light rays entering the eye are essentially parallel, meaning your lens requires zero accommodative effort. The muscle can fully release, but the key word is fully. That takes longer than most people give it. When you first look up from your screen, your visual system doesn't immediately snap to distance focus. There's a lag, an accommodative release that happens over several seconds. Studies on accommodative response suggest that the muscle reaches full relaxation somewhere between 10 and 20 seconds, which is exactly why 20 seconds is the number, not 5, not 10. So when you do this exercise, I want you to do it with intention. Step 1. Stop looking at your screen entirely. Don't glance up while your hands are still on the keyboard. Physically stop. Step 2. Find a target that is genuinely 20 feet away, not 10 feet. Not a wall across the room that's 8 feet away. 20 feet. Outside, a window is ideal. Down a hallway. Across a parking lot. A distant tree. A building facade. Step 3. Focus actively on that target. Pick a specific detail. A leaf. A letter on a sign. A brick pattern. You want to actively engage your focusing system on that distant object. Your brain should be trying to resolve it, not just vaguely resting on it. Step 4. Hold for a full 20 seconds. Count if you need to. Step 5. Return to your work. That's it. But done correctly, every single time, the difference in end-of-day eye fatigue is measurable. Multiple studies have shown statistically significant reductions in eye strain and ciliary fatigue with proper 20-20-20 practice compared to continuous near work. Now, how do you actually remember to do this? Because intention is one thing, and sitting down to work is another. A few options that work for real people. 1. Use a timer. Set a recurring timer on your phone or computer every 20 minutes. There are apps built specifically for this. Eye care apps like Breaks for Eyes, Eye Care 20-20-20, or even just a simple interval timer on your phone. 2. Tie it to your workflow. If you use the Pomodoro technique, working in 25-minute blocks, do your 20-20-20 at the start of each break. 3. Pair it with something physical. Stand up, walk to a window. The movement itself becomes the trigger. This also breaks the prolonged sitting, which, bonus, is good for everything else in your body. Now, here's where I want to go deeper than most videos go on this topic. The 20-20-20 rule is a minimum. It's the floor, not the ceiling. What if, instead of just relaxing your ciliary muscle, you also use those 20 seconds to actively exercise the muscles responsible for distance focus maintenance? What if you did a brief distance focus scan during your break? Here's what that looks like. During your 20-second break, slowly sweep your gaze across the distance landscape. Don't just fixate on one point. Move your eyes left to right, actively focusing on different objects at varying distances. A tree at 30 feet, a building at 200 feet, a cloud at infinity, near to far, far to near. This isn't just rest, it's a workout. You are actively cycling your accommodation system through its full range of motion, like doing joint rotation after sitting still. That micro habit, practiced consistently across a full workday, is one of the most underutilized tools in visual health, and it costs you nothing. Let's recap exercise 1 before we move on. Every 20 minutes, set a timer, look at a target 20 feet or further away, actively focus on a specific detail. Hold for 20 seconds. Sweep your gaze across the distance landscape if you can. Return to work. Done. Every single day. No equipment needed. All right, let's talk about exercise 2. This one is a little more involved and a lot more powerful. Exercise 2. Pencil push-ups, convergence training. Exercise 2 is called pencil push-ups, and this one has the strongest clinical evidence of anything I'm going to show you today. Let me explain why convergence matters and why so many people have never even heard of this problem. Your eyes are designed to work as a team. When you look at something close, a book, a phone, a computer screen, your eyes have to turn inward toward your nose. That inward rotation is called convergence. The muscles responsible for it are the medial rectus muscles, one on the inside of each eye. Most people's eyes converge beautifully, but a surprisingly large percentage of the population, estimates range from 2 to 13%, have a condition called convergence insufficiency, CI. This means their eyes struggle to sustain the inward turn needed for near work. The symptoms are things you've probably experienced yourself or heard someone else describe: double vision, blurred vision when reading, words that seem to move on the page, headaches right behind the eyes or at the temples, fatigue after just a few minutes of reading, difficulty concentrating on text. And here's what's insane about CI. It is almost universally missed. Missed at school vision screenings, missed at standard eye exams, missed by optometrists who don't specifically test for it. Because a standard eye chart tests clarity, how sharp is your distance vision, not coordination, how well do your two eyes work together. The CITT study, the Convergence Insufficiency Treatment Trial, a large multi-center randomized clinical trial funded by the National Eye Institute, showed that office-based vision therapy combined with home-based pencil push-up exercises was significantly more effective than glasses or patching for treating CI. But you don't have to have a diagnosed CI to benefit from convergence training. Anyone who does sustained near work, anyone, benefits from training and maintaining strong convergence ability. Here is how to do the pencil push-up exercise correctly. You will need a pen, a pencil, or any small object with a clear focal target. A letter on the cap works great. A small sticker, a coin, anything you can focus on. Step 1. Hold your target at arm's length directly in front of your nose. Center it between your eyes at eye level. Look at it. See it as one single clear object. Step 2. Slowly move the target toward your nose. Bring it closer. As you do, keep your gaze locked on that target. Both eyes should be turning inward, converging, to maintain focus on it as it approaches. Step 3. At some point, the image will split into two. You'll see two pencils. That's your convergence break point, the moment your eyes can no longer maintain the inward turn. Note where that is. For someone with good convergence, this happens very close to the nose, maybe 3 to 5 centimeters away. For someone with CI, it might happen at 10, 15, even 20 centimeters. Step 4. Back up about an inch past where the image split. Actively try to fuse it back into one. Squint slightly if you need to. You should feel muscular effort happening inside and slightly behind your eyes. That's the medial recti working. Step 5. Hold the fused single image for 5 seconds. Step 6. Move the target a little closer. Try to maintain fusion. Step 7. When the image splits again, pull back to single vision. Hold 5 seconds. Repeat. You are training your convergence breakpoint to move closer and closer to your nose over time. One set looks like this. 15 reps of approaching, splitting, fusing, holding. That's one set. Do 2 sets. Total time, about 5 to 7 minutes. Frequency, every day. Or at minimum, 5 days a week. Expected timeline. Most studies on convergence training show measurable improvement in breakpoint distance within 4 to 8 weeks of daily practice. For people with clinical CI, full normalization can take 12 to 16 weeks of consistent therapy. For people doing this as maintenance and strengthening, you'll likely notice improvement in reading endurance, reduction in eye fatigue, and better sustained focus within a few weeks. Now, I want to add a second component to this exercise that I rarely see discussed in popular content. It's called anti-suppression training, and it targets a sneaky problem. When your convergence is weak, Your brain does something very clever and very destructive. It starts ignoring one eye. Rather than struggling to fuse two slightly misaligned images, the brain just turns one off. This is called suppression. The problem is that once suppression becomes habitual, it degrades your binocular vision, your depth perception, your spatial awareness, your ability to judge distances. Long-term, it can accelerate certain types of vision deterioration. To combat suppression while doing convergence training, try this modification. Cover each eye alternately during the exercise. Do a set with your left eye open and your right covered. Then, do a set with your right eye open and left covered. This forces each eye to do the work independently and prevents the dominant eye from taking over. You can also do what's called a simple bead-on-string exercise, known as the Brock string. You take a long string, about 1.5 meters, and attach colored beads at different intervals along it. You hold one end against your nose and anchor the other end to a wall or doorknob. Then you fixate on each bead in sequence, moving from nearest to farthest and back. When you fixate correctly on any given bead, you should see the string forming an X, or a V shape, intersecting at the bead. If one side of the string disappears, that means one eye has suppressed. Your job is to consciously bring it back. Make both sides of the string visible simultaneously. This is a classic vision therapy tool. Optometrists use it in clinical settings. You can make your own for about $2. Let me summarize exercise 2. Pencil push-up convergence training. 15 reps, 2 sets, daily. Slowly move target to nose. Hold fusion at the near break point. Add alternating eye coverage and consider the Brock string for anti-suppression work. Improvement visible in 4 to 8 weeks. This is the one exercise with the clearest clinical evidence behind it. If you only do one thing from this video, make it this one. Okay. Exercise 3. This is the most sophisticated of the 3, and the most underestimated. Exercise 3. Saccadic and Peripheral Vision Training. Exercise 3 targets something most people have completely neglected: saccadic control and peripheral awareness. Let me start with saccades, because this word sounds technical, but the concept is simple. A saccade is a rapid, voluntary eye movement, the kind your eyes make as they jump from word to word when you read, or scan across a room, or follow a moving object. These are not the smooth tracking movements your eyes make following a slowly moving ball. Those are called smooth pursuits. Saccades are the snap, jump, jump movements. Your visual system makes saccades thousands of times per day, and the precision of those saccades, how accurately your eyes land exactly where you want them, and how quickly they lock focus, determines a huge amount of your functional visual performance: reading speed, hand-eye coordination, driving ability, sports performance, recognizing faces across a room. When saccadic control degrades, through age, neurological changes, or simply lack of use, you develop something called saccadic dysmetria. Your eyes over or undershoot their targets, requiring corrective movements. This slows reading. It causes loss of place on the page. It contributes to the swimming sensation some people describe when looking from one thing to another. The good news: saccadic control responds very well to training. Here is a basic saccadic training exercise you can do at home with no equipment. The wall exercise. Stand about arm's length from a wall or sit in front of one. Place 2 small stickers or pieces of tape, or draw 2 small dots, about 18 to 24 inches apart, at eye level on the wall. Now, look at the left dot. Fix your gaze precisely on it. Then snap your gaze to the right dot, rapidly, deliberately, landing precisely on the center of it. Pause 1 second. Snap back left. Pause. Snap right. Do this 20 times. Sounds simple. But pay attention to what your eyes are doing. You may notice that your gaze overshoots, lands past the dot, and then corrects, or undershoots. The goal over time is to land exactly on target, cleanly, every single time. Now make it harder. Put 4 dots arranged in a cross: 1 up, 1 down, 1 left, 1 right. Practice jumping in H, Z, and X patterns. Diagonals, random patterns. This trains your oculomotor system across multiple planes. Add a number component. Put small numbers next to each dot. Call them out as you land on each one. This engages your working memory and forces your visual attention to actually lock in on each target rather than letting your eyes drift lazily. Time per session, 5 minutes, daily. Now let's talk about peripheral vision, because this is where modern life is genuinely crippling us, and almost nobody is talking about it. Human vision evolved for a wide-open world. Our peripheral visual field extends roughly 180 to 200 degrees horizontally. We were designed to track movement in the far edges of our vision: predators, prey, weather, other humans. Our peripheral retina is packed with rod photoreceptors, exquisitely sensitive to motion, contrast, and low-light conditions. But our modern visual environment has collapsed our functional field of view down to the 15 to 20 degrees we're staring at on screens all day. We are using an extraordinarily narrow slice of our total visual capacity, hour after hour after hour. The consequence: our peripheral attention degrades. We become habituated to ignoring the edges. Clinically, this shows up as reduced peripheral sensitivity, slower response to peripheral stimuli. Athletes call it losing your court vision. Older adults describe it as things sneaking up on them. Drivers experience it as near misses. This degradation is not purely structural, it is largely attentional, which means it responds to training. Peripheral expansion exercise. Sit comfortably. Fix your gaze straight ahead. Look at a fixed point directly in front of you at eye level. Do not move your eyes from this central fixation point for the entire exercise. Now, while holding central fixation, bring your awareness to the edges of your vision. Don't look at them. Just become aware of them. What colors can you detect in your far left periphery? Far, right? Can you detect shapes? Movement? Hold this soft, expansive peripheral awareness for 1 full minute. Now I'm going to add a challenge. Have someone slowly walk across your peripheral field from left to right, starting from completely behind your head. Without moving your eyes from center, track them with your awareness. Notice when you first detect them. Notice how much detail you can gather in the periphery. Probably very little, but motion will be vivid. Over time, you can advance this by using a moving target, a swinging pendulum, a metronome-moving object, a bouncing ball, in the periphery while maintaining central fixation. Why does this matter for people experiencing vision decline? 2 reasons. First, in conditions like glaucoma, peripheral vision is typically the first thing to go, and early peripheral training and awareness can help you detect changes sooner and maintain the functional use of peripheral vision longer. Second, and this applies to almost everyone, expanding your peripheral awareness literally changes how your brain processes the visual scene. It reduces the cognitive narrowing that stressful, screen-heavy modern life creates. People consistently report that peripheral vision training reduces the tunnel vision sensation and helps their visual world feel more open, clear, and alive. The mind-body connection here is real. Let me give you one final drill that combines saccadic training with peripheral awareness. I call it the environmental scan. Pick any room in your home. Stand in the center. Set a timer for 2 minutes. For those 2 minutes, slowly scan the entire room. Up, down, left, right, diagonal corners. Let your eyes make deliberate, precise saccades between objects. Don't rush. After landing on an object, hold fixation for 1 full second. Name the object mentally, then jump to the next. After scanning for 1 minute, spend the second minute trying to take in as much of the room as possible with wide, soft peripheral vision without moving your eyes around. Just expand your awareness. This alternation between precise, directed saccadic scanning and wide, soft peripheral expansion is the visual equivalent of alternating between sprinting and stretching. Both modes need training. Both modes are part of a complete visual system. 5 minutes per day, that's all. So let's recap all 3 exercises before we close. Recap in action. Plan. Exercise 1, the 20-20-20 rule, done correctly. Every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away at a specific target for a full 20 seconds. Add a slow distance sweep. Set a timer. Do this every single workday. Time investment, 0 extra time. Just structured breaks you should already be taking. Exercise 2, pencil push-up convergence training. Slowly bring a near target towards your nose. Hold the convergence at the near breakpoint. 15 reps, 2 sets, daily. Add anti-suppression work with alternating eye coverage. Consider the Brock string. Time investment, 5 to 7 minutes per day. Exercise 3. Saccadic and Peripheral Vision Training. Precise saccadic jumps between wall targets, 5 minutes. Peripheral expansion awareness practice, 1 to 2 minutes. Environmental scan drill. Time investment, 5 to 7 minutes per day. Total combined daily time investment under 15 minutes. These are not miracle cures. They will not regrow a deteriorated macula or reverse severe myopia, but they will reduce eye fatigue, improve binocular coordination, maintain and strengthen oculomotor health, and, for some people, slow the functional progression of certain vision changes. And for zero cost, with no side effects, in under 15 minutes a day, there is no reason not to start today. If you found this video useful, if this gave you something actionable that nobody has given you before, please share it with someone you care about who is struggling with their eyes. This information deserves a wider audience. And if you want me to go deeper on any of these topics, a full video on the Brock string, a deep dive into convergence insufficiency diagnosis, a guide to what questions to actually ask your eye doctor, let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Take care of your eyes. They are the most complex optical instruments on Earth, and you get one pair. I'll see you in the next one.